Hello everyone, and welcome to the Brickformula review of LEGO set 8827. LEGO Minifigures Series 6 is for ages 5 and up, and this little packet retails for $2.99. And since there are 16 of them for you to collect, it's going to run you about $48 just to get them all. And while I'm here, I would like to give a shout out to L1E2G3041 and Sazabi BTR Cargan 89. They are the subscribers who had requested that I review this, so everyone check out their channels. And moving forward, here in the front we see some of the minifigures, not all of them. And here in the back there's really nothing special, but once again they have the dot code at the bottom that you could use to distinguish what's inside. Although personally I think that's really inaccurate. I still think that feeling for them is the best way to look for a specific minifigure. But nevertheless, I'll show you both ways, and for now, let's go check it out. And here they are, Series 6 minifigures, and we have a pretty interesting bunch too. We'll start with the classic alien, and he's a really unique figure. The only thing I don't like about him is that he's really plain, especially in the back there, because there's no printing. But then again, this guy was meant to be plain, and to make things interesting, he comes with a white ray gun. And personally, I don't find them very useful except for sitting in the background of either a Mos Eisley Cantina or Jabba's Palace. And to feel for him, you'll definitely feel for the ray gun and this part right here, but you have to make sure that you feel for a bulbous head too, just to confirm it, because you might get him confused with the Cosmic Barbie doll over there. Next in line is the Highland Battler. And here he is up close. He has some minor details there on the shield. Cool sword, by the way. Although I'm not sure about the torso, because that's not something I would wear to battle. See that? And there's the back. And for those of you who are wondering, he does not have an alternate face. So that's what he looks like when he eats and sleeps and talks to his wife. Now to find him is not hard, just feel for his shield, because that's the only thing that feels like a disc. And if you feel the sword, that's great. And that's how you find him. Third in line is Mr. Sleepyhead, aka a grown-up man who still sleeps with Pookie. Speaking of which, isn't that the cutest teddy bear you've ever seen? Isn't that nice? There's the back, and he can attach to a stud if you like. And what I really like is the way they have the arms set up like that, because now you can hold them up with two hands like this, and now you can have them for your show and tell class. See that? Yep, you can tell the world who you sleep with. And here's a closer look at his pajamas. It's really interesting. And there's this expression where he looks really sleepy, like he's yawning. And he has an alternate face where he is just out cold. And to find him, it's not hard. Just feel for the teddy bear. You cannot go wrong with this one. And just feel the spiky part of his hair. And that's how you know you have him. Next is Lady Liberty. And this is a really cool minifigure. I think she is so cool that they should have added the pedestal just to make her even cooler. And maybe fix a little bit of the printing there on the torso, because it is a little bit off, just by a little bit. Otherwise, the details are really neat. We have a little tile piece that says July 4th, 1776. Got a nice torch. There's her face, and the crown is made of a rubber plastic. The back is pretty plain, but otherwise, she is still pretty neat. Now, to feel for her, you want to feel for this piece, but don't stop there, because you can confuse her with the flamenco dancer over there. What you should also feel for is the torch too. That usually gives it away, because this is actually easier to find than everything else. And there we have it. And now to take a look at the bandit. I'm starting to think I should pick up a few more of these guys, because that torso is just unbeatable. I mean, wow. That's a lot of bullets there. We got Rambo going on over here. And there's the back too. And just to take a close look at his face. There it is. I have to say, I'm not exactly thrilled with the face, but that's easy to fix. And to find them, just feel for the hat. And usually the mask does the trick too. And the revolvers, and that's how you know you have them. Next is the flamenco dancer. And here she is. You gotta love it when a woman hides behind a fan and she bats her eyelashes at you, just like that. And sometimes when they reveal their face, you'll spit out whatever you were drinking. Although the good news is that she will probably not have that kind of effect on you. And here's a closer look at her dress, which is pretty detailed. And they probably should have continued it all around. This way it looks more complete. And there's the back. Here's a closer look at her face again. Not so bad. Now to find her is not that hard, just feel for her dress, but make sure you feel for the fan and the hairpiece too, this way you don't confuse her with Lady Liberty. Coming in at number 7 is the Clockwork Robot. And he's a collectible. And here's a close look at all of his details here because they did a really good job with this one. There's nothing on the back though, which is too bad. But that's okay. We have a new piece over here, which is really neat. I could see that in a couple of interesting mocks. To find him, you just feel for his boxy head. And you actually feel for this neck piece too, because that's a lot easier to find than everything else. And there we go. Now to take a look at the Monitor. Wow. You know, to me it reminds me a lot of like the Mighty Taurens from the World of Warcraft, which is why I actually bought a few of these guys. And here's all around. He's half minifig and half bull, but he's 100% pure grade A awesome. Never mind the axe though. And this whole headpiece is just one piece. The horns can come off as well, and you can rip that off. Just so we can get a better look at his torso. He's got a 6-pack. I got one of those in the fridge. And there we go. Now to find them, it's really easy. Just feel for the headpiece, because this is actually the biggest odd-shaped piece out of the whole series, and it's pretty solid too. So if your pack is kind of bulging, then you know it's him. Next is the Leprechaun, and here he is. What I like about him is the pot of gold, actually. Although personally, it looks like a jar of honey that Winnie the Pooh carries around. It comes with 3 gold coins, and I have them all stuck together because if you look inside there are no studs for them to attach to, so it's really easy to lose them. And if you notice, there are these little studs here on the sides there. That means you can attach those handlebars that you usually have for those buckets. Anyway, here's a closer look at his torso. It's got a 3-leaf clover. It's got a DB's face. And to find them, you just feel for his hat and the 3 gold coins. That's what makes it easy. And now to take a look at the really cool Roman soldier. I mean, wow, this guy is just really awesome. I especially love the shield. It's really big. And here he is all around. I just don't like the pants because it looks like his butt is showing. Like part of his pants got ripped off, you know. And now take a look at the torso really quick. There it is. Really neat. It's got a big helmet. Although it didn't come with a feather to go in there, which is a little strange. And all you need is a bunch of these guys to go up against some of your gladiators from Series 5. They make a pretty good match for a war. Now to find them is not hard, just feel for the shield and the spear because that's the longest stick in the set. And that's it. Up next is the Surgeon, which is a really cool minifigure to have. I especially love this tile piece, which is an x-ray of her patient. It looks like a broken rib. Comes with a needle. There's her face. There's not much to the back there, but I really love this shower cap piece. Well, it's not really a shower cap, but on anyone else it will probably look like one. And to find her, just feel for that tile piece, and that should give her away. I also heard that there is a hospital set coming out later on this year, so she would make a really nice addition to that. So you might want to pick one up if you plan to get that set. Here's a quick look at the Skater Girl. And like usual, they usually have some kind of printed design on the skateboard. And there it is. And here's how this cutie looks like. Really nice detailed artwork over there. And she actually has quite a bit of makeup on the face, which is something you don't see very often. And it looks like she's wearing a hoodie. And she's got some stripes there on the arms. Overall, she's very detailed. And to find her, of course, you just look for a skateboard. And that's all you need. Next is the Intergalactic Girl. And here she is. She kind of reminds me of Samus from Metroid. Of course, she's in hot pink and everything, but the point is that she's sort of like a space mercenary to me. Especially since she comes equipped with a ray gun and the Alien Conquest helmet, except that it's in pink. In fact, she probably fits right in with that theme too. She can fight alongside of the ADU members. And there we go. Take on some aliens. Really nice. And there's the details there. Here's a close look at her face. Pretty good looking. And to find her, you just feel for the helmet piece and the visor, and that should give her away. Here is the Butcher. And what makes him so special are his accessories, actually. This T-bone steak is really neat. It's a nice accessory along with his butcher's knife. There we go. And he's wearing an apron, so he's a pretty clean guy for someone who cuts up meat. There's his face. Nothing to the back. Almost looks like a sailor from behind. And to find them, you just feel for the T-bone steak. Next is Raph the Mechanic. That's his name because that's what he has right there on his uniform. See that? It's right there. And he's got that Fonzie haircut. And a lot of oil stains pretty much all over too, right there on his pants. That looks messy. But the back is really clean. His toolbox reminds me of those boom boxes that you might have seen in previous series. It's just one piece. Comes with a gray wrench. No alternate face. And to find them, you just feel for the toolbox. It's that simple. And finally, we have the genie. And here he is up close. All you have to do is rub his lamp for 3 wishes. If that doesn't work, the lamp is still useful as a fancy teapot. This guy attaches by 1 stud, so you can also attach him to the lamp. This way it looks like he actually came out of there. See? Pretty cool. Here's a close look at his torso. Some okay details there. Pretty plain on the back. There's his face. Looks alright. And the hat is actually 2 separate pieces. There we go. And there's the hole there. And when you're looking for them, I do recommend that you feel for every single piece that makes them unique, because it is pretty easy to confuse them with the other minifigures. And I think he'd be great for your collection. And that's it. Now on to the recommendations. As usual, I do recommend that you get yourself a complete set of the minifigures, because not only is the value good, but they're a collectible too, which means that their value can only go up whether they are new or used. And plus they fit in just about every Lego theme that there is. And if you want something more specific, I do recommend getting the Clockwork Robot, especially because of this piece right here. I mean, this piece right here is just screaming Mox. I can imagine a lot of people making their own wind-up toys with this piece, or mechanical squirrels, or stuff like that, whatever. You know, it's a really neat part that they have over here. And in the end, you'll see that you just can't go wrong with this set. And that sums up my review. I hope you guys enjoyed the show, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.